MBR Buffs Prime Time. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour, 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. My name is Jake Schwan. It's RK. What is up, man?
Not much, man. It's another beautiful day in Colorado.
Another beautiful day in Buff Nation. It's going to be a pretty hype show, I think.
Oh,
because,
I love that.
We're recapping this year's, the 2023 transfer and recruiting classes. Charles Kelly's won an award. And we get to talk about Lil Wayne being at CU.
Yes, Wheezy F baby.
I was typing out the outline for these topics today, and it was just like, what is this?
It's so funny.
It's amazing. We start with Juwan Johnson, though.
Yes.
The 4-star athlete, I believe out of Louisiana, plays quarterback, plays defensive back.
Wide receiver.
Insane athlete. Pretty sure he's a track star, too.
Yep.
Anyways, he got a crystal ball today from 247 Sports. Chase Howell of Buff Stampede submitted that. He, of course, Juwan is supposed to commit on Saturday. I believe he said 10:30 his time, so that is 8:30 in the morning for us on a Saturday.
Excited to wake up to that news.
Yep. But signs are looking good so far. Got a crystal ball.
Yeah.
His first, so.
Absolutely. First crystal ball, I guess they have different levels of crystal ball, so it's not a lead expert crystal ball or whatever they call it. But a crystal ball nonetheless, which usually means there's some sort of sourcing involved and some sort of idea as to why Juwan Johnson would be coming to Colorado. This would just be another banger. As we learned the other day, he is being recruited by most places as a defensive back. But Coach Prime said it yesterday, right? So where else? What other coach is going to let you play both ways?
Exactly.
Now you got to dominate both ways like Travis does. But if you want to play both ways somewhere, this might be the only place you're going to get that opportunity. I mean, I've seen it. It's rare. You've seen it with Miles Jack. There was, I always forget his name. There was a dude at Washington who did it.
The linebacker, Ben Burkervin?
No. He might have done it too. But he was, I want to say it's Shaq something.
Oh, was it Shaq Thompson?
Yes, Shaq Thompson did the same thing as Miles Jack, linebacker. He also kind of did some safety and running back. But other than that, you're just not going to see coaches who are willing to do that. And I think Coach Prime sees it differently than most coaches. The big reason why you wouldn't do it is because of stamina. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of these guys need rest. I think Coach Prime looks at it as these guys have an opportunity to put their skills on display in more than one way. Seeing Travis Hunter play receiver, I think highlights his athleticism more than seeing him play corner.
Yep.
Now he's a fantastic corner, lockdown corner, who would probably be a first-round pick eventually, either way. But when you see him play wide receiver, you're like, oh my God, look at the ball skills. Look at the route running. Look at the change of direction. You just don't get to see that from a corner who's not being able to make the first move. It's all reactionary at cornerback. And so Coach Prime, as someone who got to showcase his skills with the ball in his hands as well, I think looks at that and says, I want you to have that opportunity. Now you have to force me to be, you got to be so good I want to play you on that side of the ball. But at the same time, if I was Coach Prime, I wouldn't say this to the kids, but behind the scenes, I would be saying, I better have a roster that's good enough that if this guy can't go a couple plays because he just played on defense and now he played on offense and now he needs a little bit of a rest, we can fill in for him. And, God forbid someone gets hurt because they're playing too much, we should be able to fill in.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the perfect guy for these kind of / athlete recruit type players. I mean, no one else is going to be more honest with you in terms of what he actually thinks about your true two-way ability if he thinks you can pull it off. And he'll tell you straight up to your face, nah, man, you should probably play corner or something like that too.
Yep.
So it's extremely valuable, and it's also valuable, I think, in the grand scheme of recruiting because, I don't know, if another school says, yeah, you can come play both ways here, and then you go to Coach Prime, and he goes, nah, dog, not going to work out here. I mean, that's got to be like a little mind worm, well, Coach Prime's kind of giving me the truth.
Right.
What are these other schools saying that, yeah, they believe I can play two ways when this is the ultimate two-way player?
We've talked about this before, but Coach Prime keeping it real is his second most valuable asset. Being Coach Prime is his most valuable asset, and all that comes with it. But if you stripped away his NFL career and just looked at him as a coach, how real he is to me the most important thing about what makes him successful as a recruiter, because it's all bullshit. Recruiting is all bullshit. Everything that these coaches are telling you is BS. Everything that they're telling your parents is BS. How they're going to play you, answering yes to everything you say is BS. The amount of NIL money they're going to give you is BS. It's all BS. And that's all these kids get served 24/7 is BS from every corner. And then Coach Prime comes out and keeps it real. And he really does. And he said it yesterday, I don't sell anything. I present the opportunity. I tell them why we like them. I show them what we have here at Colorado and what we're going to do here at Colorado. And if they're chasing a bag, then this isn't going to be the place for them. But I know the kids deep down feel that and respect it. And I've said it before, Gen Z cuts through bullshit faster than any generation ever has.
Yep.
But also the parents. The parents know and can feel that someone is being real with their kid. And that gives them confidence in what Coach Prime preaches, which is we're gonna bring in a kid and give you a man. And you can't do that by babying and telling everyone what they want to hear and making sure everyone's happy all the time. You can only do that by being real with them.
And we keep bringing this guy up, but just look at the work he did at Jackson State with James Houston. That meeting when he's in there talking with the linebackers coach and James Houston, and it's real honest, straight up. Look, man, you're not going to get on the field playing inside linebacker. We think you should go outside and play edge. We all know what happened after there. So, I mean, that's a huge story, too, that he should tell parents, like, in terms of recruiting. Like, look at this guy. I brought him into Jackson State. Wasn't really anything special. Now he's tearing it up in the NFL.
Second in rookie sacks in the NFL behind only Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep. He also had the quote yesterday where he's been in all three chairs. And there is no, I don't know, there's maybe isn't Trent Dilfer coaching at like East Carolina or something like that? Yeah. So there's very few amounts of people who can say, yeah,
Does Trent Dilfer have a son who's been recruited?
I don't know about that.
Because that's the third chair.
That is true.
The player chair, the coach chair, and also the parent of a player who's being recruited chair.
Yep. So Coach Prime, again, just one of one.
Also, he's been in the chair where you sit down and they design your bust for the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's very true. A man of many talents.
Yes.
Let's talk about this class, these transfer and recruiting classes as a whole, because with this late signing period, I guess is what we're calling it now, we're finally putting this class to bed. Coach Prime said yesterday they ranked 21st in the country, and that's the data I have, but I don't know where that's from.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, he loved it because it was number 21.
Right.
Could have come from anywhere.
247 Sports has the Buffs 30th in the nation in the 2023 class.
Which is kind of crazy because as recently as last week, they were 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's been movement in the last few weeks. I just don't feel like there's been that much movement to drop 11 spots in a week.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Who knows?
Is that just 2023 players?
Yep.
Okay, so
this is just recruits.
Not transfers.
I guess I can go to overall here and look at it.
Because I think maybe that's what it is. They're 21st if you include the...
So that's what it is then.
Yep. If you include freshmen and transfers, when they're, I think they've dropped now to number 4 transfer class or whatever.
Yep.
Although that'll probably go up now with Demoy Kennedy. So maybe they'll be back in the top 3 or maybe up to 1. I don't know what the other schools have gotten. But that's what really matters.
Yes.
And really, I've said it before, the transfer class is the most important thing
for
this
sure.
year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we love Dylan Edwards and, some of those guys as well, Morgan Pearson. But the transfer class is what's going to help them win games now.
Do we want to start with the transfer class then?
Let's do it.
So 5th overall transfer class, only behind LSU, who is number 1, Florida State, USC, and Auburn. They are the only school to get a 5-star transfer in this cycle. Of course, in the Pac-12, they are going to be second just to USC, but they doubled them up in terms of total commits.
Yep.
USC only had 12 commits. Colorado had 24. USC did have 7 4-stars, though.
I haven't checked recently on terms of how many of Colorado's transfers weren't yet rated. which was holding back their rating.
Yep.
We have to look into that.
Pulling it up here.
It's kind of hard. Like, it's not obvious
Yeah.
because some of them have their transfer rating and some of them just have their high school rating next to them. So you have to like look through each one to see if it says transfer next to
Yeah,
them.
I'm looking at it. There's quite a few with the HS next to their name.
So yeah, I mean, there's 24 guys, right? You just said, and last I checked, half of them didn't have a transfer rating.
Yeah.
So that's holding back why Colorado's number 5 and they're behind like a USC who only has 12.
Yep. Just behind them in terms of Pac-12 transfer rankings is UCLA, and then Arizona State with their 26 commits. That puts them at 4th. The Buffs, I mean, the transfer class for this team, you already talked about it. It's going to be the most impactful crop of new players.
No Shiloh in there yet either.
And no Shiloh in there, and they're not done yet.
Yep. And I assume no Demoy Kennedy in there, at least as a rated player yet.
I think he's in there, but yes, high school rating.
So they're not done yet. They're going to keep adding, I would say, over 30 transfers when all is said and done, which is pretty special to think about the roster turnover that they're going to be able to accomplish. What's really, not to sidetrack us too much, what's really impressive is the Pac-12. The Pac-12 did work this year. Now, I'll take out USC and UCLA because they're not really one of us anymore. They're not Pac, if you will. But it's surprising how well the Pac-12 did in a year in which the Pac-12 had a horrible year as a conference. They had a fantastic year as a recruiting conference and as a transfer conference.
Yep. I'll just say this about the Pac-12, though. The quality has gone up for sure.
Yes. It's QB conference of quarterbacks this year.
Yeah. I mean, last year was not their best year, obviously. I mean, the injuries to, Cam Rising, Caleb Williams late kind of derailed the season as a whole in terms of where the conference could have gone. You talk CFP and stuff. But even like the middle of the conference is so much better compared to where teams like Oregon State, Arizona, like these are competitive, feisty teams. These aren't going to be easy wins for the Oregons, USCs of the world. These are competitive teams that can absolutely win on the road or at home any week.
And what's interesting about that is its continuity that has allowed them to do that. Like Jed Fish came in with a plan.
Right.
And they were terrible his first year. So bad they got blown out by the Buffs. And his second year, he gets in JDL.
Yep.
He's able to, implement what he's trying to do a little bit more, get the type of guys he wants, get some transfers in there like JDL, and now they're competitive. Oregon State, I mean, that's a true one. Like they, to me, truly took the Utah model and were like, we want to be Utah Junior. And they've been really successful in doing so. They are big, they're strong in the trenches, they stick to their offensive philosophy. And now instead of just being like a bottom dweller team, they have an identity that they can stick to and recruit and place players. And their coach has done a great job. He's actually a really good football coach.
Yep.
And now you're not trash, Washington State, actually not necessarily one of these schools that has had continuity of any sort.
Yep.
But just like the level of player that's coming into the Pac-12 is at a much higher level than it used to be. And then the transfers, a place like Washington State can go get a Cam Ward as a transfer and turn things around immediately.
Do you know who had the worst transfer class in the Pac-12 last year?
No.
It wasn't CU.
Oh, worst last year.
Last year, 2022.
Cal.
Oregon State.
Wow.
They only got one transfer in.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
That is crazy. And they were good.
They were really good. They got Zariah Beeson.
Tyler says no hat Jake can take my daughter on a proper date.
Oh, my gosh.
People love no hat Jake.
I guess so.
They love the locks, dude. You were hiding it from everyone for months and months and months.
I guess.
You let them breathe, and you can keep. I mean, now you got hat
It's not
hair,
great
so
now.
It's not,
but, we'll think about it. Anyway, Stanford was the 11th overall class in the Pac last year, and CU was 10th. Only 6 players.
I mean,
what a difference.
And think about the impact that those players had, sadly, I already forget the name of the Baylor wide receiver. Who
R.J. Sneed.
Yep, he got hurt in camp, came back. I mean, he probably had more, but in my head, he had single-digit catches.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Tommy Brown, probably the best transfer in.
And what's his situation?
I don't know.
I mean,
he's not listed on any official roster or like 247 or anything for this year.
So did he just retire?
I guess he's getting ready for the draft. I don't know.
I have no idea.
The Arena Football League's coming
maybe
back.
that Shinesty underwear deal is coming through for him.
That's right.
So it was Tommy Brown, R.J. Sneed, Josh Chandler-Semedo, who made some tackles, but was not what we hoped he'd be.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the podcast listeners, someone said, hide your daughters, hide your wife, hide your mamas, and your aunties. No hat Jake is out here. He's not, though.
I'm not out here.
No hat Jake came and left.
Yeah. One-time thing. No, he'll be back. Chance Main was also a transfer in. I mean, nothing. Luke Eckerd, offensive tackle. Nothing. Compared to this year when you get Travis Hunter and all these guys, it's amazing.
I wonder how many players just as themselves would have made CU rank higher as a transfer class last year.
Lawrence says no hat Jake took L's but walked around like he was undefeated.
I don't know if no hat Jake took any L's.
I thought I had a pretty good day yesterday.
Yeah, it was all dubs. Like Shador Sanders alone would have given them a higher transfer class ranking.
Yep.
Travis Hunter alone would have given them a higher transfer class ranking. Like Seydou Traore alone, there's several players who just as one person would have given them a better ranking.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the recruiting class and hit break. They ranked 5th in the Pac-12. They get 1 5-star commit. Oregon got a 5-star. USC got 2 5-stars. Wow. And UCLA got a 5-star. The teams ahead of Colorado in order: 4th is Washington, 3 Utah, 2 USC, 1 Oregon. The Pac-12 as a whole, I shared you this right before we went live. 3rd in the nation in this year's classes in terms of the amount of 5-stars, with only 5. The SEC, of course, at the top with 21. And then shockingly, the Big 12 was 7 as 2nd.
How many did Texas get?
I will find that out.
And Oklahoma, because they don't count as Big 12.
Well, those teams combined for all 7 of them.
Okay, there
you go.
So that's just 7 more to the SEC. Now the Big 12 has 0. Now you take 3 away from the Pac-12 because you got to take out USC and UCLA. And so then Colorado
and Oregon
are the only 2 true Pac-12 schools that got a 5-star.
The ACC only had 4 5-stars. And then the Big Ten only had 1.
Wow. Would it be too petty of the Pac-12 to release the schedule and just not have USC games? They're just like, oh, we thought you guys left. Sorry, we didn't factor you into the schedule.
Just classify them as like a Notre Dame. They just have to make their own schedule.
Go make your own schedule. Find some open dates. Good luck scheduling Valdosta State.
Yeah. A couple FCS schools in there too, whatever else you need to do. Brandon Innes is the only 5-star recruit in the Big 12 or Big 10's 2023 class. I mean, just a massive uptick, man. You go back to last year, Colorado as a recruiting class. Well, it just took me nationally. Hold on. Colorado as a recruiting class, no 5-stars, no 4-stars even. But they were still 5th in the conference.
Dude, there was like a day when getting a 4-star recruit was like, that was it. Like,
yeah,
I just remember some of these names, like Bo Bisharat, who I guess still has eligibility. The Buffs got him, I believe, on signing day, and I can actually remember exactly where I was. Huh. That's how big of a deal it was. They got Bo Bisharat on signing day. I was at the Super Bowl media party in Atlanta, so that would have been whatever the Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Is that 2016?
Yep. 28-3.
Is that 2016? Maybe it was 2017. The fact that he still has eligibility.
2016 season.
Okay.
the 2016 Super Bowl was won by the Denver Broncos.
Right, and so then he became a freshman that year. Yeah, so like that was a 4-star running back, and it was like, oh my God, we got it. Like the way that times have changed now, 4 stars are like, oh, that's dope. 5 stars are like, yeah, we got one. You know, like, getting a 5-star 2 years ago would have been like, wow, like what did we do to get this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Or what did he do to fall to us?
Yep. It's wild, man. And it's wild how even back-to-back years, finishing in the same place, 5th in your conference in terms of recruiting, and just how drastic the classes are.
Yep.
No 5 stars, no 4 stars. You had 25 kids come in last year. And then this year, of course, you have the 5-star in Mr. Cormani McLean. You have 3 4 stars. And then, I'm sorry, I'm in the 2023 class. Anyways, you got a bunch of 3 stars also. But
David says, hey, RK, your OT for modern day is really showing CU some love. He really is. You want to know what's crazy, Jake? Is I'm not saying this is going to happen with Brandon Baker because I actually think he really is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But recruits are going to use CU because of the wave that comes along with CU. So he made a video of his visit to Oregon. It got 15,000 views. It's been up for 3 months.
Yeah.
He made a video of his visit to Colorado. It's been up for like 3 days. 57,000 views.
Yeah, it's massive.
The difference that you get from just mentioning Colorado, it's like all these guys are tweeting out, hey, what's up, Boulder? You know, show some love.
Right.
Because it brings in followers, it brings in views, it brings in likes, it brings in retweets.
Yep.
It's insane the bump that comes with being associated with Colorado right now. So unfortunately, everyone's going to try and ride this wave whenever they get a Colorado offer. But I just thought of it with Brandon Baker. Like, he's loving it because every time he tweets about Colorado, it blows up.
It's the prime effect, man. I mean,
Yes.
you really can't put it into words. You just can only witness
Appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah, appreciate it. It doesn't even really make sense. I mean, we've been beneficiaries of the prime effect, and it's just, I don't know. It leaves me speechless, honestly.
Yo, if you want No Hat Jake tomorrow on the show, we need 500 likes.
500 likes. Let's do it. And I'll bring back No Hat Jake. I need a haircut, though. I feel like my hair is actually a bit too long.
Can send you to my barber, literally right across the street.
Floyd's?
No, don't do that to me, Jake. I know there is a Floyd's right across.
It's right across the street.
But no, Hollywood's barbershop.
Okay.
Right across the street. They'll get you right, not whatever Floyd's would do to you.
All right, I've been dreading this moment, but time to do some ad reads. And Valentine's Day is coming up. Special restaurant.
Oh, I know.
Romantic evening at home. What about later in the night, Ryan?
What happens later in the night, Jake?
Well, some say Valentine's Day is the sexiest day of the year, but are you ready, Roman ready, for sex?
Oh my God.
Roman.
No Hat Jake on Valentine's Day. That's a lock.
Roman is an online outlet that helps men with erectile dysfunction. They are the men's digital health clinic, a men's digital health clinic available in all 50 states with licensed physicians. No waiting rooms and no hassle. Roman sends everything right to your door with free shipping and discreet packaging. To get ready, Roman ready for better sex this Valentine's Day, go to ro.co/DNVR today to get 20% off your entire first order. Order by February 8th for guaranteed shipping in time for Valentine's Day. That is ro.co/DNVR.
There you go.
And then shout out to our friends.
Killed it.
At Jive Hive.
Yes.
No training wheels.
No training wheels.
The virtual dispensary on wheels. If you want your weed delivered to you at your own house, maybe at your job, Jive Hive's got you covered. They also offer discreet shipping and delivery if that's something you're interested in. You can see on the screen all the places in Colorado that Jive Hive is available. That's JIVEHYVE.com. Don't drive, Jive Hive.
Sean said, No Hat Jake breaks up with his girl the day before Valentine's Day and gets back with her the day after.
Oh my God. What have I become? You guys kill me. I literally have to stop. I'll just read a comment and start laughing, and Ryan's like in the middle of like explaining like his whole take, and
No
I'm
Hat
just
Jake
dying.
puts the man in Roman.
Sheesh.
Oh my God, this is a classic.
Charles Kelly. Charles Kelly won
Speaking of the man,
He won 247 Sports National Recruiter of the Year for not only his work at Alabama, but for Colorado, and included in that graphic that 247 put out, the picture of Cormani McLean.
Yes.
We saw the pictures. Of course, the leaked photos was with Charles Kelly. His family posted pictures with Charles Kelly all together. He played a massive role in getting Cormani McLean here.
Was he credited as the
primary
lead recruiter? I would assume if they put him in the graphic.
I think so. Let me try and find that for you. I wouldn't be surprised if it says Deion Sanders, though.
I would just love. I should say I just love the fact that the 247 graphic that they put out had the Buffs logo on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he obviously most of his work was done at Alabama, but now every kid who all follows 24/7 Sports, all these recruits follow them, saw that. They saw Alabama and CU on that graphic. They said, "Oh, that's the #1 recruiter in the country. I got to go check him out."
Charles Kelly is the primary recruiter, secondary recruiter, credited to Mr. Kevin Mathis, the cornerbacks coach.
Oh, dope.
But yeah, we already talked a lot about Charles Kelly. He is a legit recruiter. And honestly, I don't know if Cormani McLean comes here without Charles Kelly coming here, even with Coach Prime. Of course, you have Coach Prime and everything that he's done in his career, but you add on Charles Kelly, you add on the players he's coached, and Derwin James, Jalen Ramsey, Pat Surtain, Trevon Diggs, I don't know, every other stud to come out of Bama from 17 to now.
You know what's crazy with Charles Kelly is I don't know what's his thing. What makes him such a great recruiter? Usually you can tell, like Jim Leavitt was the defensive coordinator here during the Rise, and he was the energy guy, the Tim Brewster type.
Right.
Where he's just like, oh, of course, guys want to play for this guy because he walks in and he's just like, you feel his presence when he comes in the room because he has that energy. Then there's like the Coach Prime type, where it's just like, well, he's the swagger and the notoriety that comes with his name. Obviously, you have the types that are just like amazing, Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, like they just win. That's what helps them recruit. I don't know what Charles Kelly's thing is yet. I'm trying to figure out what makes him such an incredible recruiter because he seems pretty low key. And I'm excited to just learn more about him to figure out like what is his secret sauce.
I think this is just a guy who really knows his football.
Is it the track record?
Yeah, and has just been in it for so long. I mean, the dude's only 55 years old. He's been coaching since 1990. He played from 86 to 89. He's been in the game for 40 years already, basically. Like, it's pretty insane. And the places he's been, too. Of course, Alabama, but he was at Tennessee before that for a season, at Florida State, at Georgia Tech for a while. Pretty sure he coached DT when he was there. I mean, not like coached him, but he was there when DT was there.
Wow.
I think when maybe he caught the tail end of Calvin Johnson too when he was there.
Okay.
But yeah, I just think that this is a guy that really knows ball, and players trust him and have seen his track record and see the players he sent to the league, and that's why he's the best recruiter in the nation, I guess.
Yeah.
So
it's impressive. Being the best recruiter in the nation is an unreal tag to have next to your name.
Yep.
And I guess, everyone in the comments is saying he puts guys in the league, but like a lot of people have put guys in the league. Mm-hmm. There has to be a separating factor there, and I'm excited to learn what it is. There's something that he has, a little extra something. Obviously the track record's amazing, but you don't recruit better than everyone without a little secret sauce.
Yep. To put this into even more perspective, in the top 10, there were 3 other coaches from Alabama in terms of top recruiters, and Charles Kelly, of course, ahead of them all. Brian Hartline, who has been getting wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver at Ohio State. He's actually been promoted to OC now.
Yeah, they had to keep him because everyone was trying to grab him.
I mean, better than him. It's pretty impressive stuff. YouTube corner.
Let's do it. I just got a DM from one of our great listeners, Charles, who says, my real name is Charles Kelly.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I know who that is. That's our guy.
It's funny.
That's funny.
We also, what's the other? Oh, we also have a Tyler Brown in the comments.
We do.
We're put together the whole squad.
I know. Maybe it is the actual people.
I doubt there's a second Shador Sanders.
so far.
So far. Until Shador Sanders Jr.,
Exactly.
who runs all of his social media.
And then becomes a buff in about 20 years. 20 plus years. YouTube corner. We caught up. I caught up at least. But you watched the Lil Wayne video too.
Oh, yeah.
He was in awe of CU.
That was a fun one, man. I just love the contrast between Lil Wayne and Coach Prime, because two very different paths. But I just like the friendship there was fantastic to see, and you could tell like it wasn't just like, I don't know. There's like these celebrity friendships that only exist because they're celebrities. Like you could tell like, especially all the times they're like whispering. I was like, oh, what are they talking? Like they're like actually boys. And that's been the case with all the people that Coach Prime has brought in. It feels like he has like real relationships with all these people, which I think goes a long way in everything in his life. But that was sick. Also, I don't know what the person was saying. Remember yesterday they were like, listen closely when they walk past the uniforms.
Oh yeah.
I rewinded and listened to it 40 times.
Yeah.
All I can hear is he says something like, I got Travis, Shador, and Shiloh. And like, I was trying to piece it together. Like maybe he's like, he asked for their input on the new uniforms or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. I listened so many times trying to find that little Easter egg and I couldn't.
We can just be surprised, I think, by one thing.
Yep. Also, Lil Wayne from New Orleans said it wasn't that cold.
Another one.
Yep.
Another one. And that's what Coach Prime said yesterday. He's like, when these Florida boys learn that it ain't so cold out here, it's over.
Yep. And they will. I mean, it's like 45 and sunny today.
It's a beautiful day today.
T-shirt.
Yeah. This is what I wore into the office.
Yeah.
I mean, long sleeve tee, but
I went short sleeve.
that's fine.
I had a jacket just in case I needed it.
Yep.
I'm here late, but
I think the biggest takeaway for me from watching Lil Wayne walk around the facility was just what everyone has been saying about CU the last few years is that it was a hidden gem. And Lil Wayne, I think, exposed that in the. I mean, people have been learning that, but he really like exposed it when just how seeing his face light up and how in awe he was of the facilities. I think really drove it. The locker room clip.
This is the fucking locker room.
Yeah, like. That drives that stuff home.
I love that he was in there and it took him a second to realize it. And then he's like, wait.
He's like halfway in it.
It's so awesome.
Just a great video. Hopefully we see him on the sidelines.
I also love the, I don't know, there's little times where you see like how much Coach Prime appreciates Bucky. And he's like, oh, Bucky, tell him what you said when we came in here the first time. You know, I like love that.
Yep.
Like, because Bucky said, oh, my dad's going to be preaching sermons in here.
Yep.
And, like, that stuck with Coach Prime. He loved it so much. He's like, oh, say that thing again.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite clips, too. There's a well-off video that came out, and we finally got to see the Cormani McLean footage.
Yes. That was fun.
Very fun.
That was, like, one of the all-time great troll jobs. Starts with the thumbnail is that picture.
Yep.
Then it's in the background watermark. Then everyone's like, oh, it's gone. But no, it's in the background watermark, but just even smaller.
It was literally the Leonardo DiCaprio Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing. There.
There he is.
That's what it was.
That's perfect.
But yeah, so dope to see them just hanging out. I mean, we already saw all the pictures and stuff, but and we said what his mom said on Twitter yesterday. But I think everyone in his family, including him, are very, very excited to be in Colorado.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be lit.
It is going to be lit. What else was lit was we were featured.
Oh yes, I Swear TV just mentioned this, and I don't think he mentioned that we were in it, but
yep. Well, we were featured on
two things.
Reach the People. Yes.
Oh yes.
Darius,
featured is a strong word. We made a cameo.
We finally got an appearance. Yes. Darius put out the video of the press conference, and he got my question, and then was doing the whole thing. So I was in that, and then apparently we're in the bonus episode of the Coach Prime documentary.
Thank God there was a bonus episode.
Yes,
I got to see what it is, but it left off in a weird spot. So I'm excited to see a little bow tied on the end of it.
I think this one's a lot more about Colorado.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised we haven't seen the Amazon Prime cameras there yet. Because that was the last time we saw them was that day.
They're coming.
Or someone else will take it over.
Because PDS Swag brought up Willie Taggart's son committed somewhere else today.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think that means Taggart's out? Coach Prime is adamant he's coming.
I know.
But Willie Taggart Jr. visited CU
Yep.
and is now committed to, I believe, Western Kentucky.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he wants, because he's a quarterback, isn't he?
Quarterback, yes.
So maybe he just didn't see the opportunity to start at Colorado.
But I almost asked at the press conference, who's the backup quarterback going to be, man?
Stauber Wiseman.
That's pretty bold.
It is bold.
Portal's not, I mean, they can still work the portal, but.
Yeah, someone will lose their starting job to a younger player in spring and hit the portal. I'm sure that will happen. And if they need a backup, they'll go get him. I will say, I would like to see an addition. Having bad quarterback depth sucks. And I pray to the good Lord above that Shedeur Sanders will be healthy.
Yep.
But there's nothing worse than when your starter goes down and then you're just hopeless.
Yeah, well, you saw it last year. I mean,
Exactly.
any type of quarterback issue and the season just collapsed on itself. Questions?
Let's do it.
Before we get to questions, though, I'm going to tell you guys about our friends at Breckenridge Brewery. And they have 2 fantastic giveaways coming up on March 9th, Thursday, March 9th. This is an Avs giveaway against the Kings. They're giving away 2 tickets. Section 102. Do you know where that is?
It's right down the middle.
Right down the middle, 5th row.
Yeah.
You also get passes to the Lexus Club. Head over to thednvr.com/Breck Sweeps to enter. And there is also a Nuggets giveaway for the March 30th. That is a Thursday game against the New Orleans Pelicans. 2 tickets courtside. Courtside fit.
Courtside fit.
Courtside fit.
I put my courtside fit out yesterday.
Yeah?
From
And
when
Drive
I had
5 said.
Yeah, Drive 5 said 420 out of 10.
Love it.
Great rating.
Amazing. The Nuggets giveaway also features passes to the Lexus Club and a parking pass. You can also get some sweet DNVR gear with both those giveaways. Again, head on over to thednvr.com/Breck Sweepstakes and complete the form to enter. Must be 21 plus. Links are in the show description. Winners will be selected 1 week before each game. And then also shout out to the American Raptors. They have joined a new league, the Columbia Rugby Federation. The American Raptors feature athletes from all around, basketball, football. Are you a rugby fan, by the way? Do you like the game?
Yes. I wouldn't say I follow it closely, but
Do you understand it?
I do understand it and appreciate it.
It's a great game.
It's basically like a whole game made out of fullbacks,
Yes.
which is kind of fun.
It's really fun. I played rugby in high school.
Really?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Damn.
I was a wing.
All right.
But anyways, the American Raptors could be your next opportunity if you are an elite. If you feel you're an elite athlete who did not get the opportunity you deserved. Best part about the American Raptors, though, is their games are free. You can stream them for free or grab your free ticket. Head on over to AmericanRaptors.com. Shout out those guys. Let's get on to questions then. Seems like we got quite a few today.
Playing bangers downstairs.
VHF. Do you think if the Buffs don't win 7 or 8 games next year, the fans will be disappointed?
The bar of 8 is too high for disappointment. Let's say they win 6. Are people disappointed? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
If they get to a bowl game, everyone will be excited, step in the right direction, back in the bowl world, and above all, they'll have a top 5 or so recruiting class coming in.
Yep.
That's just like, okay, so we're going to build off of this. We're going to, a lot of these players who were forced to start for us this year are now going to be depth pieces because we brought in transfers of even a higher caliber, on and on and on. It'll be Shedeur's last year going into the next season. Like, I don't think disappointment is the right word. I think less than 6 will now be a disappointment, which is crazy because you could increase the win total by 500%. And still, I think the hype has reached a level now where people aren't going to accept it less than a bowl game.
Yep, I think that's where we kind of draw the line is go to a bowl game.
Yep.
And that's when everything else at that point kind of just doesn't matter if you hit that 6 wins mark.
To be fair, also, if you beat Nebraska and CSU,
right,
that goes a long way as well.
I mean, 1-11, man. You can really only go up, especially in terms of the talent we saw last year. RK, would you prefer CU Nebraska to be daytime or night game?
So this is an interesting question because in almost every scenario for a big game, I would choose night game. Just, it gives the fans a little more time to loosen up. If you know what I'm saying. Gets a little more raucous in there. It'll be early in the season, so it's still going to be nice and warm. With that being said, my whole childhood, CU Nebraska was played at like 1 p.m. on ABC the day after Thanksgiving. And so anytime I think CU Nebraska, I'm thinking of like a day game.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think I want a day game. But I would certainly not complain if it's like a 7 o'clock start, just because it will be even just one more notch more electric.
Yep. I mean, night vibes for that game would be absolutely amazing.
The parties on the hill afterwards,
Exactly.
if they win, good Lord.
Jamie with the question. Did you catch wind of the Deuce Robinson stuff?
People always do this to us. Do you know what he's talking about?
In the last 2 minutes now, I do.
Okay.
So he's delayed his commitment. He is a 5-star tight end in this class.
I was thinking of the player. Don't they already have a Deuce?
They have Deuce Robertson.
Oh, my God.
I know. Or Robertson, I think.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was like,
Yeah.
what happened with Robertson?
Or is it Roberson?
Anyways.
Yes, that's who it is.
Deuce Robinson.
Anyways, yes, the 5-star tight end said that he was going to be delaying his commitment.
What class?
23.
2023 class is delaying his signing.
Signing, yes. But he hasn't committed either, I don't think.
He's uncommitted, unsigned.
Pulling up his 247 page now. Shows him uncommitted. He's got 2 crystal balls to Georgia. That's it.
Wow.
Top recruit out of Arizona, a top 20 recruit in this class. Just from reading very quickly here, I think he's a baseball player also.
Interesting.
And I think the MLB draft might be playing a factor in this.
Wow.
I think.
Okay. Jameis Winston style.
Yeah. That's all I got, though, so far. Next question. Angela is back, and she asks, Coach Prime asked 10 more Florida boys to join him at CU. Jake and RK is Coach Prime seeking more speed at wide receiver, running back, linebacker.
Speed everywhere.
Yep.
It's the ultimate college football hack.
Well, in this
Speed wins.
handy-dandy packet we learned that 8 wide receivers came in this class, and that is the most that CU has had, at least going back to 1980 in a single class.
Wow. That's surprising.
Yeah.
But it's also just a gold mine for players. Like, there's just so many wide receivers out there, and not all of them are going to pop, so just bring in tons of talent and then let it pop.
Yep. Everyone's saying MLB options, too.
We can keep going.
Okay. I Swear TV, I guess?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Colorado and Utah potentially leaving? I hope they do, to be honest, unstable. Is this a report?
I just think it's the idea of Colorado and Utah potentially leaving the Pac-12.
Would they be the 2 next to leave, I guess, at this point? I mean,
it's possible.
After USC, UCLA, I mean, I guess Colorado does kind of step in as the next big ticket school.
Absolutely.
Besides Oregon, maybe.
Oregon, Washington, Utah would be the other ones, including Colorado. But Colorado is now, in my opinion, one of the biggest draws in college football.
For sure. Absolutely.
Certainly for this year. And if they have success this year, that's only going to carry over. Like, everyone's paying attention right now.
Right. Next question from Wayne. Coach Prime is building an SEC defense in the Pac-12. Why does nobody realize this and think everybody is going to score all over CU? That's a great question.
Who in the world is talking about people scoring all over CU?
Well, there's a lot of Twitter hate.
You don't score on teams that have 2 elite corners.
Yep.
You just don't do it. Find me a bad defense with 2 elite corners. Doesn't exist. And then, of course, you add in, all of the others, the Jordan Dominic of the world, the interior guys that they added, Shane Cokes. The safety group is great.
The speed at linebacker.
Yeah, they've got speed at linebacker now. It's like, I don't know. If you are saying CU is going to get scored all over, you just simply don't know ball.
Hater.
And you're a hater.
I agree, though. I mean, this defense is going to be much improved, much faster, and more talented. So we'll see exactly how.
Great job,
effective.
Alyssa.
Thank you, Alyssa.
On the fly.
Beautiful stuff. We just did Wayne's. You can go to Jeff's. Has Kevin Coleman actually transferred yet? He's a St. Louis kid who I follow. He was a dog in high school. I'm pretty sure it is official, is it not?
Kevin Coleman to Louisville?
Louisville, yeah.
I don't know.
Yep, says Louisville on 247
Is
Sports.
he signed?
I mean, he's got the whole card there. Like,
yeah, like he's on the team.
yeah.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. VHF. How did CU do in the Pac-12 recruitings for recruiting high schools?
So not just I don't know.
I don't know if I can get purely high schools because JUCOs would be under transfers, I guess, right?
But
that I guess I don't really understand the question.
Just like we were talking earlier, like CU's 30th if you only look at high school, but they're 21st when you include the recruiting class. So what is their Pac-12 ranking if you only look at high school?
Pac-12, just high school, 5th.
Okay.
Yep, 5th.
Looks like we're not getting No Hat Jake tomorrow.
Yeah, you guys got some work to do.
Nowhere near 500 likes. Sad.
Trucking with Tony. Predictions for Shador's season performance this year.
I think at some point this offseason we'll put numbers on it. But I fully expect him to compete to be the second best quarterback in the conference.
First is not too far out of reach, though.
Well, yeah, it's just it's crazy for me to say like he can be better than the reigning Heisman winner next year.
True, but you can have better numbers than someone who's a better player than you.
That's true. That's true.
So, we'll see. Mario, why doesn't transfer ratings take into account the players who are transferring out? At least to me, net transfer ratings would make more sense.
They do.
They do, yeah.
Yep.
You're right. It does play a factor. I mean, I have no idea exactly how it's calculated, but it does play a role.
There is some sort of formula, which I'm sure they don't share.
For sure. DMJ Music Group. Hey, guys, what letter grade would you give CU recruiting so far? Be really honest. Be really honest, Ryan. Which grade would you give them?
A plus.
Same here.
Plus.
Yep.
Plus.
I mean, honestly, how much better could they have actually done? Maybe.
No, they couldn't.
I mean, it's nitpicking, though. Like, the things
There's
that you could say.
There's a couple guys that we wanted them to get that they didn't get.
Yeah.
My expectations for this recruiting class were so much lower than what they did. The transfer class, I was expecting big things. And they definitely met or exceeded those expectations. But for them to turn around and what was the recruiting class ranked when they got here? In the 50s?
Yeah.
And they got it all the way down to 30.
It was like 50s or 60s. They were way down there.
I really don't think I could have asked for more. Like, I would like for them to have gotten Blake Purchase. They're so late. How can I blame them for losing out on Blake Purchase, who's been being recruited by Oregon for years?
Right. Yep. I mean, for what Coach Prime was able to do in only 2 months, a month and a half, basically, when you count the time he was still spent coaching Jackson State, it's pretty remarkable stuff.
Yep.
Chris Spoomer with the super chat. Signing day is over, and we've already resorted to pimping out our boy Jake for likes. Love it.
Just his hair.
Yeah, just my hair. I'll sacrifice my hair for some likes. If y'all were to take Prime out for dinner in Denver, where would you take him, and what would you order on their menu? That's a question for you.
Oh, man. It's hard to say because I don't know what Coach Prime likes.
I actually have an answer. I lied.
Okay.
Legal Pete's.
Oh, there you go. I like that. I'd have to find out if he likes this type of food, but my favorite restaurant in Denver is a place called Uncle, which is like, not to make it sound bougie, but like elevated ramen.
Okay.
And it's the flavors that they put out there are one of a kind. It is so good. They have these like bao buns that are insane. Everything on their menu is fantastic. So if he likes that kind of food, that's
Okay.
where I would take him.
Hell yeah. Do you think Coach Prime's a barbecue guy? Has to be, right?
Gotta be.
That's where I'd take him, I guess, then.
Okay.
Best barbecue joint out here. Ryan J., question for the boys. Can you post your depth chart to social media a couple weeks ago? It's a good visual reference point.
We'll have to rework it. Yeah.
One? Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
We'll just have to rework it because a lot has changed since then.
Yeah. Maybe after next week when you're back.
There we go.
Jamel, for RK, how is the next Ralphie selected? Is she a clone or picked from the same bloodline of Ralphie's?
So first, they emit white smoke from a building. No, I'm just kidding. It's really, there's no secret formula for it. They just try to find another one. This last search was actually really difficult.
Yep.
They found one, but it had like some issues, and so they weren't sure. It's kind of an interesting process to actually find a new Ralphie. A lot of times what happens is they kind of like, I guess, like develop a new Ralphie once they know the other Ralphie is starting to get older. But this last one, like the protege, took a wrong turn late in the process, so they had to go back to the drawing board. It's a very interesting process, but what happened is we ended up with a really young and raw Ralphie who's still growing. I'm really hoping that she hits a big growth spurt between now and week 1 of next season.
She's got to hit a big growth spurt at some point during Coach Prime's tenure.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see her at full force.
Yeah. I mean, in the last Ralphie 5, which, by the way, lives with Ralphie 6 and lives a charmed life, as all Ralphies do, was, like, in my opinion, like a perfect Ralphie. Like, she was so great.
Ralphie 6, she's coming up.
Yep.
Super chat from Timothy. Did you see the undiscovered area Coach Prime found while escorting Lil Wayne?
We've
the
been
nap
up
room?
there. No, it was the rooftop of the Champion Center.
That's right outside where we interviewed Mike Sanford.
That is right where we interviewed Mike Sanford. We have some sick pictures, actually.
Yeah, we do.
I'll send one to Alyssa to bring up before we finish here.
Cool. There was a comment that cracked me up. Jimmy said, I don't know what the conversation going on in the comments there, but Jimmy said, ramen is not spaghetti, very emphatically.
Oh, no. And it's not like, if you're thinking of like top ramen, like, you know, the microwave and go type stuff, it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But ramen noodles.
That's elevator ramen equals spaghetti.
That is a wild take.
That is pretty wild. That's almost like is cereal a soup type of thing.
Yes, 100%.
Sean with the super chat. Deuce's MLB comparison is Aaron Judge.
Shut up.
So maybe this makes sense why he delayed his college football recruitment.
Don't you dare play football if you can rake like that.
Yeah, legitimately. John with the question. Main positions left to target for transfers after spring. Well, we talked about backup quarterback. I think that's got to be up there. I don't know. Running back depth, I guess, would be maybe something. I mean, you're already stacked on wide receivers. Trench depth in any kind would be nice. Shiloh's coming in, so you know they're going to work on the safeties. You got the linebacker yesterday. I honestly don't know. Like, I guess backup quarterback is literally the biggest need at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I would still like to add to inside linebacker. I'm just an inside linebacker guy.
Yeah, you want another one?
I mean, I guess Jeremiah Brown, I think I keep underselling him, which isn't fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got some young guys who are on the team from last year there too.
Alyssa, I just sent 2 pictures, 2 Buffs assignments.
I honestly don't know though. Like, where else? You mean you said linebacker? That still feels like a luxury, like to improve linebacker at this point.
You could do probably some more defensive line depth, some more offensive line depth. You can never go wrong adding in those areas.
It's just at this point, it's like the NFL draft where like the good big guys always go early.
Yep.
Like there's no good tackles still in the portal right now, you know?
Right.
Like there's no good.
What about like a wide
lineman.
receiver, like a true big wide receiver one?
So that's the thing. I mean, they've been chasing that with the guys that went to Arkansas. I mean, those were massive dudes. So
Both
maybe
of those guys went to Arkansas?
Yeah, Broden and Tesla.
Screw those guys.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Is KJ Jefferson in the draft?
I think so.
Um,
No, I actually don't think so. Next year.
I don't think he is. So
There you go.
we'll see. There it is.
That is us, right where
Yep.
Coach Prime and Lil Wayne were hanging out yesterday. Look at that view, man.
It's amazing.
Unrivaled. And you can see actually where we're standing. There's a giant CU logo. So if you look at
Yeah.
like a overhead view of that, if you're like flying over it or whatever, you just see like a giant CU logo,
Yep.
which is sick. And Lil Wayne was asking him like, do they get this popping during game days? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Personally, not for me, because as you can see right here, it's pretty high up there.
Yep.
So you actually would have a good view of what's going on. It's just really far away from the action.
Yep.
But for the people who are there for, I don't know, more of a social outing,
Right.
it's perfect. They've got a bar up there that they keep going during the games.
Yep.
I think you actually have to buy passes for this. And everyone's complimenting the picture. That is
No
shout
Hat
out-
Jake. Lawrence saw it. I was waiting for someone to
there
find it.
is. No Hat Jake. Surprisingly, I'm wearing black pants, a black T-shirt, and white shoes.
It was cold that day.
It was,
too.
dude, bro. I know, like I can handle the cold. I was struggling out there because we
was
talked to
cold.
Mike Sanford for like 15 minutes out there, and I didn't bring my jacket out. I was like, all right, this is actually cool.
It was like a little windy and stuff.
Yeah. But no, they get it popping up there for sure, and you can like go before the games, have drinks, hang out. It's really cool. By the way, shout out to Ryan Green, who I talked about my
Yep.
recruiting story with yesterday.
Prime would take No Hat Jake out. He asked me how I was doing yesterday in the press conference.
There
and
we
I asked him
go.
a question.
There we go.
It's something, I guess. James with the super chat. I was telling my friends if the Denver Broncos didn't get Sean Payton,
Stay the
we
hell
might as
away.
well go for prime time. It can't get much worse in Denver anyways. Let's say you. Now you know how I felt about the goddamn Harbaugh rumors.
Yeah. I love the Denver Broncos. They have
Me
been
too.
my team since I was born.
Yep.
I would legitimately resent them if they took Coach Prime away from me.
Thank you. This was my life the last like 3-4 months
No.
or 3-4 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah, but you're
I know it's different.
It's
I'm
different.
willing to accept it is different. It is different, but it's still my team, and I don't want another one of my teams stealing my very good head coach.
right. I feel you. I wanted Sean Payton more than Jim Harbaugh anyway.
Me too. Just for football reasons. So
Yeah, Nicholas said another defensive tackle. It certainly wouldn't hurt. I would just say like they're in best player available mode.
really, for sure,
If there is a beast who comes available in the portal, they can go get him.
no joke.
And things happen, man. Like anything could happen. Maybe, like, I don't want to wish this against anyone, but like, let's just say there's a really good wide receiver at a school with a good quarterback. The quarterback gets hurt in spring ball. He realizes these backup quarterbacks suck. I got to get out of here. This is going to tank my NFL stock. Let me go play with, maybe the most accurate quarterback in college football.
Yep. Jordan Addison didn't officially enter the portal till May last year.
There you go. Now, it was because USC offered
I
him some
mean,
insane
yeah, that
bag,
was the recruitment of that, of course.
It was dirty.
Same with Caleb Williams, though, too. It took a while, I think, for that to happen, right?
Right,
Like, it
yep.
wasn't immediately once the window opened.
Yep, for sure.
So, yeah, anything can happen. Is that it?
All we got? Sweet.
Sweet.
This was a fun one, man.
Yeah, great show.
Comments were on one.
Yep. You guys are amazing. Love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't know what we're doing yet. It'll be fun, though. We'll see you at 3.
Friday vibes, promise.
Friday vibes. Go Buffs?
Let's go Buffs.